touching on both the interlocutory phase as well as the main petition. The golden thread is that there may have been positions taken that may affect the petition before the court as well as its progression. To enable parties place that material before the court and to also allow the relevant respondents to seek further instructions, it is clear that more time should be accorded to them. Noting also the strong public interest in the subject matter and the status of the subject airport, it is just that in the interim, conservatory orders be issued to not only preserve the substratum of the petition, but also to allow for an orderly progression of the matters before this court. Consequently, I hereby order that 1. Pending the hearing and determination of the petitioner applicant's notice of motion application dated 12th October 2024, a conservatory order be and is hereby issued, restraining the respondents, jointly and severally, from entering into, approving, or furthering any concession agreement relating to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport with the first and second respondents or their associated or related entities or any other party or entity. 2. Pending the hearing and determination of the application, a conservatory order be and is hereby issued, restraining the 11th and 12th respondents from taking over and operating the assets and business of the 7th respondent relating to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. 3. Responses to the application and amended petition to be filed and served within 21 days from the date hereof. 4. The respondents shall, in their responses to the application and the amended petition, adduce evidence on the question of any alleged cancellation or rejection of the impugned concession agreements and head of terms. Rejoinder by the petitioners within 14 days of the lapse of the time for responses. Lastly, further mention on 29th January 2025 in open court at 11:30 a.m. I will upload these into CTS after this. Thank you. So my apologies, I appreciate the senior counsel in the matter, and it is practice to ask whether it is convenient, but that is my earliest.
It is convenient.
That is my earliest date. So dated and signed 27th November 2024. Thank you, counsel. I believe that is.
My Lord, just to conclude, my learned colleague, Mr. Ndegwa Jiro,
Yes.
who is actually on record for purposes of this petition,
Yes.
he has a funeral today of his uncle,
Yes.
so I'm holding his brief, and Mr. Victor Obuli is also here from his office, so you can record that.
Condolences to counsel Njiro.
Thank you, my Lord.
Senior counsel.
Yes. Yes, my Lord. You order that we appear before you today
Yes.
for directions. But since then, a lot seems to have happened. During the President of the Republic's main pronouncements regarding this matter, and as we appear before you this morning, a statement released by the President is not sufficient proof that impugned contracts have indeed been cancelled.
I think, Senior Counsel, you commenced from the assumption that the court knows and is properly seized
Indeed.
with what was said or said to have been said.
So we know this could be strange before you,
Yes.
if indeed there's any indication whatsoever
Yes.
that those statements are indeed appearing in the court process, in the court files. So we appear before you.
So perhaps, Senior Counsel, you can state what the head of state and government stated so that I can record it.
I was out of the country. Indeed, they should come from the respondents and not from the petitioners. I'm properly guided by my learned senior friend.
So, yes.
And so as we appear before you, my Lord,
Yes.
we seek your directions. But even as we do, and I will ask my learned friends here, Adoli and Kibe, to make further comments on this matter. We would want this matter to remain alive. It's a matter of great national interest. In fact, even from the representations before you this morning, my Lord, you'd agree it's a matter of grave national interest, and we wouldn't want it to be dismissed merely because statements have been issued out of court, and those we therefore treat as strange unless evidence is produced to the contrary. And I invite my learned friend Kibe and Adoli to make further comments.
State of the Nation. Sorry. During the State of the Nation address? Yes. We took the tradition from there. His Excellency, the President, indicated that he had directed the procurement agency to cancel what are generally now known as the ADANI deals with regard to JKIA, which is the subject matter of these petitions.
Yes.
And the other one with regard to the energy sector. Now, to the best of our knowledge, the few responses we have received in this matter, none has annexed any evidence that the President's directive on cancellation of the procurement that were going on, or the contract themselves,
Yes.
has taken place. So we remain at the stage where we were, where the court had directed that the respondents and interested parties to file their responses to the amended petition. Very few of the parties have actually done that by today.
Yes.
But be that as it may, I believe what Senior Counsel Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka had in mind is that I indicate three things for purposes of way forward,
Yes.
bearing in mind whatever statements have been made outside of this court. The first issue, my Lord, would be to convey to the court the fact that this petition, the hearing of this petition, would still need to proceed for three reasons. Number one is that the President's directive continued to say that the ADANI group will be replaced by another group of companies.
Just a moment, Councillor.
Yes.
I think the neat way for my record to read
Yes,
would be to have Councillor Musota
yes.
first place that.
Oh,
Yes.
there's no problem. You can go first.
Yeah.
Then we shall react to that. That's okay.
We have filed a notice of preliminary objection, therefore in compliance with the previous directions. Number two, Your Lordship, in relation to the statements by Senior Counsel Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and my senior Mr. Kibe Njai, in relation to the presidential address or directive, Your Lordship,
Yes.
opposition is that my clients are yet to instruct us on the basis of the said address.
Yes.
Be it as it may, Your Lordship, as we have previously said, that the said proposals were only at this being a privately initiated proposal, the procurement process was actually at the proposal stage.
Yes.
And therefore, it suffices to say that there is actually no contract to cancel. Lastly, Your Lordship, at whatever point the process has reached, our clients will invoke the relevant provisions of the Public-Private Partnerships Act 2021
Yes.
on how to deal with such eventualities.
Yes.
And therefore, we can only be able to ably and conclusively respond to the request by the two councils on the response to the State of the Nation address. In relation to the submission by Mr. Kibe-Migai that he still wishes to have this petition heard despite the said cancellation,
Yes.
we have no objection, Your Lordship, given that this case belongs to the petitioners and the respondent cannot direct the petitioner on how to handle its case. But I say that in the right, Your Lordship, that if indeed the substratum of the petition is no longer subsisting, what then would be the essence of sustaining
Yes.
the petition, taking into account the scarce judicial resources we have and the time constraints, especially in this particular division, Your Lordship.
Yes.
That's all, Your Lordship.
We would be happy that we come back on the 16th and the request for extension of time be adjusted because they have already had more than 14 days. So by 16th, it should be the next date that we come to court. On the issue of these developments being placed on record, we hope that by the 16th, the same would have been placed on record, particularly, my Lord, because for the petitioners and whether before the ADANI group, whether it can remain a relevant party or not, the issue has to be confirmed whether the Kenyan government, that said cancellation is being done in a manner that would entitle the ADANI group to compensations in billions of taxpayers' money. So if that be the case, the position of the petitioners would be that we shall have to proceed for a declaration that those dealings with ADANI were fraudulent and unlawful ab initio, in which event no compensation is payable. With regard to the other three issues that we agreed we did, first of all, with the petitioners, my Lord, irrespective of whatever the details of the cancellation, we request a court to give directions with a view that this matter must proceed for three reasons. The first one being that the petitioners are challenging the constitutionalities of various provisions of the PPP Act of 2021.
Yes.
That would have to proceed because it is not predicated on the ADANI group alone.
Yes.
Number two, my Lord, is that in this petition, The petitioners are saying, and we've annexed the relevant document, that when the PPP Act was made, the initial version, during the time of President Mwai Kibaki,
Yes.
institutions like Kenya Airports Authority and Kenya Power could not be subjected to PIPs, that is privately initiated proposals. And therefore, we shall be urging the court that because the President, His Excellency the President, gave intentions to use PIP to get somebody else, the court must have it say first, because we can proceed on that path. PIP cannot be available for JKIA. But more importantly, the petitioners are also saying in the petition, JKIA in the first place is not available for leasing to foreigners under whatever guise. The final issue, my lord, would be this concern about public resources. Public interest litigation such as this have to proceed where controversy has arisen that relates to serious abuse of power and high-level corruption in ceding or leasing the public assets of Kenyans. And therefore, that's an issue that must be interrogated by the court and specific findings made. They are actually the same reasons why in the first place the ADANI deals are being cancelled. So there must be accountability by whoever who brought ADANI to Kenya before we can wash our hands from this matter. I believe my learned colleague, Honorable Kalonzo, has something to say in conclusion for the petitioners.
Yes, indeed, my lord. Talking of strong winds,
Yes.
I think they blew in the form of tornadoes from New York, hit India, and they landed in Kenya. My lord, we are talking of high-level corruption, which the United States of America have taken very seriously under Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. And so we brought strange averments before you, my lord, and all we are saying is, can they be firmed up? My learned friend Mosoti did not like the word cancellation of contract, but what President William Ruto talked about at his State of the Nation address amounted to cancellation of these deals. So we will need to know what actually was cancelled. All this is not before you, my lord, and we look forward to interacting with that situation once it is placed before you. My learned senior brother, Fred Ngatia, talks of the 16th of December. I think the matter is so grave, even if we don't want to tie your hands, my lord, could even go into the new year so that Kenyans will have time, whoever has to file whatever documents has enough time to file. And so that nobody will be seen to have been left behind, or nobody will have instructed, because Kenyans want nothing but the truth out of this ADANI matter. And as my learned friend Kibia said, we don't want to, because the president talked about will onboard others. And now, if that was to happen unilaterally, without giving regard to what the thinking was behind enactment of the Public-Private Partnership Act, then it will also fall short of expectations of the Kenyan people. I thank you, my lord, and we are ready to receive your directions. The effect of the proceedings today, the net result is conservatory orders remain in place.
Have actually been granted.
Have actually been granted today, and they remain in place regardless of what may have been said by William Ruto in Parliament. You had some discussion about what was actually cancelled. All right, whatever was cancelled, those things need to be brought before the court, and therefore we remain seized and want to assure Kenyans that we are seized of this matter. And one of the things that in fact we want to do is to do a further affidavit by the petitioner and bring for record purposes and for purposes of taking what in law is called taking judicial notice of the indictment of ADANI in the United States of America under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, so that this matter is also reflected in our domestic situation. So this ADANI deal is not just about Kenya, it's the whole world. Because when he was indicted, the media everywhere, Al Jazeera, BBC, everybody had Kenya brought on focus that this whole matter had to do with high-level corruption. And we are saying, as you had Council Kibe argue, we don't want people to cancel things and then leave Kenyans with huge burdens. Paying compensation where it was not necessary. So we want this matter gone into in greater detail to even get to know who was paid what. It is very important because under the indictment in the United States, the amounts were elaborated, $265 million, and what was paid to Indian officials. We believe that a lot of money was paid to Kenyan officials here. They will not go away without us exposing them, so the country will get to know. We cannot deal with critical infrastructure like Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and have it, haphazardly handled. We're also saying, and we repeat, that we are not averse to foreign direct investment. In fact, we will come up with proposals on how best to modernize our international airport, because it's in a very poor state. That's a fact. I don't know whether some leakage was reported that time and people ran to the airport and then they said, now this is the opportunity to make big money out of it. We are saying to them it will not happen under our watch. Asanteni sana. The rest of the day says we have stopped ADANI, and he talked in his State of the Nation of address that he could bring other partners. Even those other partners are injected under the conservatory order.
He has been indicted at the east side by the District Attorney of New York for two issues: bribing the officials of the Indian government to award the largest solar project in India in the amount of 34 billion shillings, as Senior Counsel Alonso Musyoka said, $265 million for a project of $2 billion. If you were to do a mathematical calculation, that amounts to 10% of what Kitu Kidogo and Adani paid the government officials of India. The Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, our pride and joy, the project was valued at over 268 billion shillings. We have no doubt, certainly as petitioners in this matter, that over 2.6 billion shillings has already been paid to Kenyan officials, because that is how Adani operates. The second issue, which is most worrisome, and Kenyans need to understand, American investors were cheated by Adani by taking the project that he had signed with the Indian government corruptly to get money from investors in the US, over $3 billion. He's been indicted because American lenders and individuals invested $3 billion for him to do the project. So Adani was signing the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to take our title deed and our heritage, to mortgage it and take it abroad. What kind of judgment is William Ruto making? Had Adani been given this airport and gone bankrupt in 2 years, what would have happened to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? We cannot allow a man to play gamble with the Kenyan people. Ruto has no judgment, he has no capacity and no authority to hold our sovereign will, and we must challenge this so we stop him from any other project, Kentraco, Chaff, and all of them. What judgment is this government making if they can choose Adani? We must tell the country no.
Thank you. I think just step forward, as Tony Gatoka did, and as others have done, not just in JKIA, in the Ketraco case and the Shah case. We thank the Law Society as we speak, apart from the orders stopping JKIA being auctioned. There are also orders stopping the Ketraco case. We are still looking for orders, and I thank Senator Okiya Omtata in the Shah case. What we are saying today to William Ruto, all Adani deals must be dropped.
Yeah.
It's not enough to drop 2 deals, JKIA and Ketraco. We know that Adani is in Shah. In fact, the proper name for that should be Adani Shah. That too must be dropped, because it's equally tainted by fraud, by corruption, and it should face the same fate as this. So let's thank all the Kenyans who have come out, Senator Onyonka, and all those who raised Amenya, those who raised the real whistleblowers. The young man with one tooth who walked to JKIA akisema Ruto ameuzia airport yetu Muhindi. That young man is a hero. We celebrate him too. And we urge Kenyans, as we enjoy our Christmas, that the war is not over. We'll come back in January to continue fighting for them.
Well done.
Thank you very much.